guys, long time no cooking videos. Today I made oha soup. Watch me cook while I talk to you people about giving people the benefit of doubt. So my university roommate would always get annoyed at me and say I was supporting her imaginary enemies whenever she told me about a particular person that supposedly did something wrong to her. And she expects me to curse the person out, but I proceed to critically dissect the issue and give her reasons not to conclude that the person is evil until they prove otherwise. So I always tell her to experience people first for who they are before going ahead to cast stones at them. I don't fully subscribe to herd mentality, if you know me, except on very rare occasions when this particular person must have repeatedly done this same thing. Then I can conclude with the crowd that this is who they are. Hearsay does not entirely cut it for me. That is just who I am. So there is this woman in my compound. She lives with her mom. The woman used to be married, but she eventually left the marriage because of domestic violence. As at the period when she was married, her family used to live in a compound that was opposite mine. So later on, they moved out of the compound and they eventually moved into our own compound. Before they moved into our compound, I didn't know this woman. So I'm the kind of person that could be here, but I wouldn't know my next door neighbor, and I don't even know what their faces look like, except we mistakenly see ourselves. You don't see me often. Some say I'm like a masquerade that comes out on special occasions. Certain people were peddling a narrative about this particular woman, and the narrative emanated from one girl that used to live with this woman. So the girl said the woman was wicked, blah blah blah, those hearsay. So when they were trying to move into our compound, she and her mom, my parents were very skeptical about them, especially because of the supposedly wicked woman. They didn't want to give them the apartment because of the narrative that people had been peddling about her. I didn't know this woman, like I said, but just like the others, I've had the narrative surrounding her. But somehow, I convinced my parents to let them be, that whatever they may have heard about her is most likely not true. That people who had a fallout with you, as in the case of the young girl who previously lived with her while she was married, can sometimes go to any extent to tarnish your image just to make themselves feel good. You feel me? So just like I would always convince my then university roommates, I convinced them to give her the benefit of doubt. They have lived in my compound for about 5 years now, or even more. And this particular woman that everybody was afraid of is almost like a saint. She's not close to what people described her as. She's a very good woman. I don't think she's pretending either, because a leopard cannot hide its spots for long, If she was as bad as she was portrayed, she wouldn't have been able to hide it for this long. She wouldn't have been able to hide it. And just recently, I and my sister were talking about her, and I'm happy she didn't disappoint me. Notwithstanding that she didn't know that I secretly vouched for her. So that brings us to the lesson of today. Always see beyond the rumors. Like I will always tell my roommate in the university, you should experience people for yourself first. Experience people for yourself before you conclude on whether this person is evil, this person is bad, blah 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 blah, and all of that blah, So my soup is still cooking, as you can see. I've already taken you people through all these processes in the past. I don't need to repeat it again. By now, if you're watching my videos, you should know what I am doing. In fact, you should even be able to cook oha soup if you don't know how to cook it from my videos. And this soup tasted yum yum as usual. Very, very delicious. Wow, thanks for watching. Bye.